Welcome to our 6th episode of our Culinary World Tour. Today we are going to be cooking foods from Antigua and Barbuda.
In today's episode, we go to the islands of Antigua and Barbuda. These are two islands in the West Indies, and I didn't really know about them till we started this project. And what we made here is called Ducana. It is kind of a dumpling. It is made with coconut, sweet potato, and all-purpose flour is used to bind it. It's a sweet dish. It is usually served with saltfish and some vegetables. Today I've just focused on making the Ducana. I joined a group of Caribbean recipes to understand, what is particular about each of the different Caribbean islands, and what popped up all the time was that Ducana was something that was very specific to Antigua. And I also learned the correct pronunciation of the island, because though it's spelled as if you might pronounce it Antigua, there's a G-U-A, it is actually pronounced as Antigua. So Ducana from Antigua, let's see how it's made. You can find the detailed written recipe on my blog, and the link to it is in the description below. So this is our dwarf Namwa banana plant, and I'm planning to use either these leaves to wrap the Ducana or fig leaves. And I saw some videos which also had sea grape leaves that they used, which I don't have. So I'm thinking of using most likely the banana leaf. And if the fig leaves are big enough, maybe those. This is the black mission fig. As you can see, it's just waking up from its winter dormancy, and the leaves are still quite tiny. So I think this helps me decide that I should be using the banana leaf for my Ducana. So for the Ducana, what we need is the main ingredient is the sweet potato and the coconut, and then you have the all-purpose flour to bind it. So this is Japanese sweet potato. This is what it's called here. And when I cut it, you can see that it is white from inside, or a cream color from inside. The sweet potato that is usually sold in stores here as a sweet potato is orange from inside. So you want a sweet potato, and I found this after watching many videos and recipes for Ducana, that you want to use a sweet potato that is white from inside. So we're going to peel this and then grate it, because I did not see any peels, though the peels are perfectly edible. So I think if you like it, the next time I make it, I'll use the peels, but to be as authentic as possible, I'm going to peel this and then grate it. And then the other ingredient is the coconut. And what I had done was a few months ago I had bought a fresh coconut, and then I had, as you can see, grated it. So this is the fresh coconut. I had grated it and frozen it. So I'll be using this, of course not the brown parts, but I'll be using this for our recipe today. And you can also use, if you can't find a fresh coconut, in the Asian stores you do get frozen grated coconut. So in an Indian store or an Asian store, you can find this. So you can use this, or fresh coconut. Again, this was fresh and then grated and then frozen, so for use later. So to peel this, I'm grating my sweet potato. So I'm going to use the banana leaf and foil. I had picked this banana leaf a few days ago. As you can see, it's dried out a little. So I'm going to add some warm water, and so that it becomes pliable and also freshens it up a bit. Also, I'm going to use foil to make it easier to make the packages in which we're going to cook these Ducanas. So let me pour this and soak it for a while. And then we'll come back to this. So for Ducana, we are going to use the grated coconut. So I have thawed it. I've grated our sweet potato. These are both just above a heaped half cup. This is 1/3 cup of sugar. we have 3/4 cup of all-purpose flour, 2 tablespoons of water, some nutmeg powder. This is 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg powder, 1/4 teaspoon of ginger powder, dried ginger powder, and we're going to use half a teaspoon of vanilla. And I have half the recipe that I plan to use because we wanted to check if how it tastes. And then so if you wanted to make a larger portion of this, you just need to double all the ingredients. So we are going to start off by mixing our ingredients. First step is our coconut. Okay. Next is our grated sweet potato. And as you grate the sweet potato, it's going to start getting a change color. It's going to oxidize. So as you can see, the top part is a little browner, while the part that stayed inside underneath that layer is a little bit creamer. Now we're going to mix this well. We'll add the sugar next. And then the all-purpose flour is meant to bind this all together, and you don't want the all-purpose flour to be a very large quantity. You want it to be just enough so that it's bringing everything together, but not going to make it really stiff upon cooking. So we're going to add the half of the water. Actually, I'm going to add all of it, and that is going to be used to soak up the all-purpose flour, create the right consistency. And now we'll add our seasonings. So it's a vanilla essence, and they also add almond essence to it. I'm skipping it, so you can also add that. And as you can see, our sugar has started to dissolve. So because our coconut was frozen, it's not going to have as much moisture as when it was fresh, because I had roasted it a bit to make it last longer. So I'm going to add only 1/4 or half of the flour and mix it in and see what the consistency looks like, because that might be enough just based on how starchy this is looking to create the kind of texture that I was able to see in the different videos. Maybe a little bit more. I think just another spoon or two more, and this was our 3/4 cup of flour. So I've used only about half of the, well, 2/3 of the 3/4 of the cup. So I'm not using all of it. I think this is good. So now that this has been all mixed, and you can see the consistency of the batter, and I'm guessing we don't want to over mix it, just thinking about it as a dumpling. You don't want the gluten to start being created so that it doesn't get chewy. I think we're done with the mixing, and now I'm going to roll them up. So I'm adding the batter that we created to the center of our banana leaf. And what I thought was very smart was the way I saw one video in which they used the leaf. So you fold the leaf, and then traditionally if you were just using leaves, you would have to tie it up with twine, and that might be a little tricky. As you can see, it is a little tricky to fold it with the leaves. Now I'm going to use this foil to wrap up the package. Okay. Tuck that in and then fold it up nicely. Of course, I'm making it for the first time, so I'm lacking a little bit of skill here, but let's see how they turn out. So I'm going to make all the packages, and once they're created, we'll boil them in water. This is packaged. So this is our fourth one. And as you can see, the batter has thickened up a little since I put in the first one. I'm trying to get into a good rectangular shape. And now we're going to fold this. Add this 1, 2, 3, now fourth one. Top it off with a little bit more water. So I have hot water in my kettle, just using that, and I'm going to let these boil for about an hour, and we'll come back and see how they're done. Okay, so it's been 40 minutes since I've been boiling these. I'm going to check if this is done, and I did turn the heat down once they were boiling rapidly. So I'm going to check, and this is, I don't know if you really check it like this, but it's been pretty effective for me to always check by piercing something and seeing if it comes out clean, then it's done. I think it is done. So I'm going to get all of these out. Maybe another few minutes, but I think it's tasty and done. So I'll boil it for another 5 minutes and get all of them out. So I boiled it for a total of 45 minutes. And now I'm sure that they're done. So I'm going to pull these out. Let them rest for a bit. Try to drain all the water from here. So this is Ducana. Today we are going to the island of Antigua and Barbuda. And this is a dumpling which has coconut and sweet potato in it. Give it a try.
Okay, so let's eat this. The coconut's pretty crunchy. The dumpling is nice, soft. The flavor texture is actually really good. Yum. You did a pretty good job.
Thank you.